Hey, pals! In this episode, we talked to LaTanya L, a Reiki master teacher and creator of KA Reiki. We chatted about her journey of healing her chronic pain through her discovery of Reiki and bringing Reiki to nurses and hospitals. I'm Lauren Leon.
And I'm Alex Jones. We're a video podcast now, guys. We have a desk and everything.
Oh my God.
And continue.
That's Alex Jones. Mm-hmm. We are a married couple learning how to develop our own intuition. And this is episode 42 of Clairvoyaging. Are you leaving that?
Yeah.
Wayfeather Media presents Clairvoyaging. Clear. What?
Boy.
I'm sorry about him.
Don't be. This is directly to my people. They love this.
Oh, yeah. This is right in the pocket. Is that what they say?
We're in the zone right now.
Hi. Hello, friends.
Hi, guys.
Guess what? We're a video podcast now and an audio podcast. Hi. If you're watching us on video, hi.
We have the faces for radio, but we're making you deal with it now.
Speak for yourself.
Anyway, people, okay. Not everyone can see you.
I know. I was doing a little hair.
She was doing a hair twirl.
Like a goddess. I'm giving goddess energy now.
That's good.
Hi, welcome to Clairvoyaging. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe.
Yeah, welcome.
I had a whole joke about smash the subscribe button, and I hated saying it, even though I was saying it as a joke.
It's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. So there's that. And fun update. We have some extra content from this conversation with LaTanya L, who she's amazing.
Really cool.
And we're putting it up on our Patreon. So if you like fun, exclusive extras and you want to hear more of this conversation, hop on over to patreon.com/clairvoyaging podcast and join for $4 per month.
LaTanya, you might remember if you followed Lauren during her faded 30-day meditation program. I mean, yes.
Okay. Did I die at the end?
TBD.
Yeah, I don't know.
LaTanya was one of Lauren's favorite meditations. She made one of them.
Yeah, she did a Reiki meditation. It's really good on Insight Timer.
And that's how we found her.
Yeah.
And she's a really, one of the sweetest people we've talked to, I think.
Oh, and just brimming with energy and so bubbly and sweet. So yeah, you guys are going to love her.
She's great.
Also, just little side note, I didn't know that you could make comments on Spotify. I just saw our first comment on a Spotify episode.
I had to approve it. So I might have been lingering there for a little while. Sorry if you're a fan and you're like, where's my comment?
Yeah.
My bad.
But that's kind of fun. So if you want to comment, if you're listening on Spotify, if you want to comment, I don't know if we can reply or not. We didn't try that. We're approve the comment.
New to us.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We are older than we think, I believe.
I think I'm pretty old.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the episode. Here's the lovely LaTanya L.
The lovely LaTanya L.
And learn a lot about her journey into Reiki.
And also creating her own Reiki.
Yeah. Yes. Discovering her own Reiki.
Discovering Reiki and then developing her own Reiki.
Yeah.
Anyway, LaTanya L.
Yeah.
Go!
Bye! LaTanya L, thank you so much for joining us on Clairvoyaging. We're happy to have you with us. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory, a little background on how you got here? Doing your Reiki master, teacher, all the things. You're a lot more than that too. Can you talk about that a little bit? What brought you here?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever over almost 10 years ago. For those who don't know, rheumatic fever is a condition that basically just causes intermittent pain throughout the body and your joints, and it decreases your muscle, and it also attacks the heart. So at the worst case scenario, your heart could fail. At best case scenario, you're just living the rest of your life in intermittent pain, right? So, I basically was just like, okay, I was in treatment. I was getting like these horrible shots that they give you. They're the most painful thing you can have, giant needles and stuff, really thick liquid. And it really didn't help. Well, I'll put it like this. It helped for 1 week out of a 4-week period because it takes about a week for it to integrate into your body and then another week for it to start decreasing the pain. And so you have like basically 1 week of no pain like a normal person, and then it starts back up again. So I was just like, I don't see myself living this way forever. I can't do it. And I just started getting back into my meditations, getting back into my prayers. And being a Southern girl surrounded by healers and stuff, I remembered like, wait a minute, when I was a kid, we had Mama Seal. She was like this healer we would go to and stuff. So I remember her telling my mom, she's going to be okay. And like a lot of people when I was out here would come up to me and say, oh, you're covered by angels. You have this gift. And I never really pursued it per se. I was just like telling people, oh, come to me and I can, use my hands and I'll pull out the bad energy. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm going to be really honest. I had no idea what I was doing back then. I was just pulling out energy.
Instinct.
It was instinctual. Yeah. I could just feel like different like energy levels on a person, and some was heavy, some was light, and I would just pull out and balance it all. And so I said, well, let me start doing this for myself, And so I would try and do it for myself to, manage my pain and everything. And then I realized like I really need like a teacher. I need a mentor. I need a teacher. I need something to help me to regulate everything. And I just was like praying and meditating. And then one night when I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up and I heard this voice, like literally like in my ear saying, you need to learn Reiki.
Oh.
And I was like, what the heck is Reiki? And I'm like, wait, first and foremost, who's talking to me? Because I'm like looking around.
Great question.
Nobody's there but me. And then I was just like, okay, what's Reiki? I'm like, okay, this is a spiritual thing. Let me just go with it. What's Reiki? And then I looked it up online, and it was the same as what we did down south, which was laying on hands and moving energy around. And I was like, okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. So I immediately enrolled in a course. I became certified as a Reiki practitioner. And I thought, I'm just going to use it for myself. But I kept getting these messages. I kept getting messages saying like, you go help your friend, go do this, go do that. And then eventually it was like, well, start your own business. And then I was like, okay, but I'm not going to be a Reiki master. I'm just going to start my own business. I'm just going to help my friends and family. And I'll just do it from time to time. But it just kept going on where people were like, well, if you're like this as a Reiki practitioner, will you be as a Reiki master? Because I could feel all this energy going through my body and this and that. And next thing you know, I'm a Reiki master teacher. And I was like, well, I'm not teaching anyone. I'm just going to move to a higher level. And then people started coming to me saying, well, do you teach? Will you teach me? Can you show me? And I was like, okay, universe, I hear what you're saying. And I just kept having these dreams of me teaching people and doing stuff. And so I finally started teaching and certifying people. And then the next thing you know, I write a book about yeah, I wrote a handbook. I think I might even forgot to tell you. I wrote a handbook about Reiki. It's called Reiki Vibrations with 33 meditations and affirmations. And it's just a little handbook for Reiki healers to use, because what I found when I was working with people, especially healers, a lot of them just, they didn't understand what they were honestly doing some of the times, because they were just following the script instead of following their intuition and their inner spirit and their guide. Or there were Reiki master teachers who got scared about the level of spirituality that comes with Reiki as you go higher. And because then you start hearing things and you start seeing things and on your gifts that you have internally, whether it's, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentient, whatever, it enhances it. Reiki integrates with your special gift, and it enhances it so much that it's almost like, it's tactile. It's no longer like a intangible thing. It's really tangible. And it scares a few people. But for me, it was lovely. I loved it all. As was like, bring it to me, give it all to me. And it did. And so I love the dreams. I love the voices. I love the visions. I love the spiritual entities floating around my house. I embraced it all. And I even used to send video to people and like, look at this one, look at this one, look at this spiritual entity, look at this orb. And they're just like, what is going on at your house? And I was like, I'm healing in the spirit world. I'm practicing. They're just like, you need to get back over into this world, lady. Quit messing around. But I wrote, then I just said, let me write a book about, what to expect when you're a Reiki healer and when you're starting this journey. It's not just about healing. It's about the entire spiritual spectrum that can come and knock on your door. So just be prepared. And that's how that book came into existence.
That book sounds that sounds great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like me, it's to the point. Like no disrespect to anyone who's written a book and they like to give like a lot of information. I'm very succinct and to the point. I'm giving the person what they need to learn.
I like that.
And practice. I'm like, it's too many details. I don't need to know a complete history about from the time you were born till now, even though I love it. But I'm like, I don't want to read a lot of that.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I'm like, give me the information like as plain as possible.
I used to work at a book publishing company, and I can pretty confidently say that writers, writing is their second favorite thing to do. Their first favorite thing to do is to love themselves and their ability to write. But yeah, I'm down for a Tolkien description every once in a while, but when it's too much, it's too much, man.
Yeah.
And you are getting us to where we need to be, and I appreciate that.
It is my gift, I feel, in the part of my spiritual contract to just give what is needed, not all this additional stuff to fluff it out or make it longer so you can up the price. I'm like,
right, exactly. It has 50 more pages than you'd expect. It should be worth more, but no.
Yeah, let me add another $5-10 for those 50 pages.
Yeah.
No, I keep it because I really want Reiki and healing and people to utilize their gifts in everyday life. I really want someone who has the ability to walk into that dream world and take information and bring it back into this world. I don't want them to be afraid to do it and to know that, it is possible to do and to succeed and transmute whatever is over there into this world to help you. So yeah, that's my my little contract that I decided in my spirit, I should say, decided that this flesh is going to do in this world. So healing just really segues into it because my gift started way before the healing did. I used to have prophetic dreams when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you if you had like spiritual stuff as a kid.
Yeah, it runs in my family. My entire family actually has they either have prophetic dreams, they either have spiritual visitations from old relatives or friends, or they have just basically the gift of healing or like multiple gifts. My grandmother was very much in the spiritual realm. And even though we're like, okay, so we're down south, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, small college town, right? And it's very, very religious, right? They ask, what's your name and what church you go to? Sometimes what church you go to and then what's your name?
Oh boy. Yeah. Okay.
So it's sort of weird because you have that going, but you have a lot of spirituality around you, a lot of people practicing natural arts and healing and putting salt down outside to cleanse their house and stuff. So it's it's weird because it's like very much intermingled, but so opposite.
Yeah.
But everyone's very religious, very spiritual, but then they practice natural arts and natural healing methods.
Yeah.
And stuff
so the same person might be super religious and also do the like kind of spiritual practices.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Say, okay. So you have you might have eaten something wrong. Don't eat at someone else's house. We got to cleanse your body. They'll put like water in a glass and open the Bible to a passage and burn a candle a white candle and say the Lord's Prayer and to cleanse and purify your body from everything and that's how I grew up. That's like, so someone was like, well, how do you combine the two? I'm like, I don't know any difference. I don't know.
And sorry, remind me what area we're in during this period?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So in some areas of the United States, like that might have been something that was very looked at or frowned upon,
right.
But like in your area, it was part of it, which is very funny.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
It was definitely part of it. Like I said, we had in our neighborhood, there was I know it's going to sound really stereotypical, but it really is true. Okay. There was a old blind lady.
Yes.
Who was
those are the
best. Her name is Mama Seal, as I mentioned earlier.
Okay, this is Mama Seal. Okay.
This is Mama Seal. And, you would go to her to get blessings and stuff and bless coins or blessed items or to bless something in your house. Or if you're feeling sick and ill and no one at the doctor can figure out what it is, you go to her to see if it's a spiritual attack and stuff. And she would give you stuff, powders and things to cleanse your body or tell you things that you need to do to release whatever's been attached to you, or if you've eaten at someone's house and they fed you something that they shouldn't have and stuff like that, because it goes on. Mm-hmm. I don't know why people think it doesn't happen. It does happen. And so you have to, and she was the healer of the neighborhood, and you just gave her a donation. There was no like, oh, this cost this amount, this cost that amount. You just gave her whatever, whether it's food, whether it's go run an errand for her, whether it's, whether she needs a bill paid or something. You just do that kind of stuff. And that's, I mean, again, that's how I grew up. That's my life.
She really coexisted in that neighborhood.
Yeah, like a community person.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I was just like, even as a kid, though, I felt like, oh, I want her to teach me. I want to learn. And my mom was like, get out of there. You are too young. You need to get a real career focus. Little did she know I'd end up being a Reiki healer.
Yeah.
I went to law school and everything. And she's just like, so you're not taking the bar. I was like, she's like, so you're not going to be an attorney? Like, Mom, I have been moved into the Reiki world. This is my thing. Yeah. I love it. I'm happy. I smile all the time. She's like, are you sure? I was like, don't ask about that no more. Okay.
Now
we're not doing the attorney thing.
You're an energy attorney.
Yes, exactly. I said, she's like, well, what are you going to use it for? I said, I can use it for my business, Mom. I know how to do the legal stuff. How about that?
Yeah.
There you go.
So did your mom eventually come around to like being supportive?
She did. She let me do Reiki on her.
Oh, she got it.
And she felt, when she felt that.
She saw the magic.
Yeah. She was just like, her eyes were open. I said, close those eyes. I'm still working. Because she was like, what is that? And I said, yeah, Mom, that's the energy. It's moving through your body. It's cleaning out all that stuff, all that trauma from your childhood. And she was just like, wow. She said, I got a little scared, Tanya. I got a little scared.
Oh.
I was like, why? Because, she's older or whatever. And she goes, because I just felt it just going through my body and I didn't know what that was. And that's why I had to open my eyes and make sure you were still there.
Oh, that's amazing.
My gosh, that's really sweet.
I was like, oh, yeah, Mom, I'm here. Don't worry. Because I don't touch when I do Reiki. You can do hands-on and hands-off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, every Reiki healer that I've met and I've talked to, they are so scared when you first start to do hands-off because you have like this doubt in your mind. You have to clear out what you've been taught in this world. Like there are unseen things that can happen. And you're just like, oh, I don't know if you're really going to feel it if I don't touch. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is, like, once I stopped touching people, I felt more energy moving.
Okay. So I'm a Reiki master and I attuned Frank to level 1 and 2 and I learned hands-on. So I usually do hands-on, and Frank, he's like, I feel like I can feel things better if I do hands-off. So it's kind of interesting. And sometimes I will as well. I'll be like, I'm, scanning or whatever. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. And my, who is it? One of my students, well, she's a Reiki master teacher now. So she's at my level. Yeah. And she has a great gift. Like she has she can see like all kinds of things that are happening with the body and gets these visions and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And so she definitely likes to touch. She's very tactile. I'm like, do hands off. And she goes, no, I need to feel. And I wonder like if it's because she can actually visualize what's going on and she gets vision. Sometimes I wonder, I was like, I would love to do a study on that, but I'm like, I have so much going on. I can't just, I can't add more to my plate because I have like way too much I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And segueing into like, as a Reiki, like as a Reiki master teacher, you know how we really want to start working in hospitals and get stuff done and patients and stuff. And so, I went ahead and got I'm Reiki Now certified or approved, I should say, by the California Board of Registered Nursing. As an approved.
I didn't know you can do that. That's amazing.
Wow.
I don't think a lot of us knew we could do that.
Yeah.
But again, this is where the legal part comes in.
Yeah.
Hey.
And working for the government, this is what I tell my mom, hey, when you work for the government and you have a legal background, like certain things that other people don't recognize or think about, you figure out.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nothing, Mom.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nothing. Yeah. She's so proud of me now. She's like, so cool. You did that? I was like, yeah, Mom, I did. And it was hard, but I did it. It took a while. It took months, but I got it done.
Yeah.
I got it approved. So my next big thing is to get like nurses and clinicians into the class so that they can start practicing Reiki and working with patients for patient care. It's using Reiki as a complementary therapy for patient care. And the manuals and everything, like they just went out last month online and stuff, and the teacher's edition and trainee edition. And I already have like a few people calling me, asking me, to one, get in the class, or two, to get certified as a healer to train. But you have to, I keep telling them, well, I'm sorry, but you have to train through me. It has to be under I'm Reiki Now. That's one thing about it. You have to be a contract employee. You can't do it under your own business.
Right.
That's the only thing.
So it's like a system through the government?
It's through the California Board of Registered Nursing as an approved provider. The whole course. I created an entire course. That is just for
the company and her as the practitioner is like certified, but everyone who does work in the hospital, they have to be like basically an employee under you to move forward with that certification. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you're a Reiki
so cool.
healer, you want to train other like clinicians and nurses and give them the contact hours, anyone in like those people in the medical field, then you would have to work under I'm Reiki Now as a contract employee.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I had no idea that you could do that.
Yeah.
So hold on. Can I ask you a question? How, are you running into a lot of like standard Western medical personnel who have bothered to attempt to comprehend Reiki? And if not, like, how do you explain it to them?
So let me tell you how this started. I'll even tell you how this course came about, because you're going to be surprised. Everything, honestly, is spiritually divine for me. Like I go with whatever my spirit tells me, and everything in this particular area has come through spirit, because I started getting a lot of people in the medical field, doctors, therapists, neurodivergent scientists and stuff, social workers who wanted to become certified as Reiki healers. And it was just like, this is so weird. Okay, sure, I'll certify you, no problem. Yeah, are you going to practice? And some people want to use it in their practice, and some people wanted to use it at home with their family. And I was just like, oh, okay, because they might have had a kid or someone who may be autistic or who has a medical condition, and they wanted to like put in alternative healing.
Yeah.
Because nothing else was working, right? And so they were getting signs, and they actually found me, a lot of them on Insight Timer, where my with you, like,
that's how Lauren found you.
Yeah. So they found me there, and they were just like, and I kept feeling stuff, and I just kept hearing like, I need to contact you. So I'm contacting you. I found you. And I was like, okay. And so by teaching them, they kept saying, well, I'm going to use this with my patient. I'm going to integrate this in my practice.
Mm.
And I just kept thinking about it, and I kept hearing, you should do a course. You should do a course. And, that one little voice that said, you need to do Reiki. I was like, look, you got me doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm trying to keep afloat. I'm trying to write, you have me writing. I'm writing, doing freelance writing. I'm trying to write a book. I'm trying to build up this practice. I have clients. I have a lot of stuff. I was like, oh, at that time I had a Reiki house out in Yucca Valley, which now is like full-time rental. It's not even in existence anymore. I had to take stuff off my plate where I was doing healing stuff I can't. But then the last person I think was a neurodivergent scientist out at UCLA. When I went up there and certified her, and she was the one who had the child who was autistic, and she said her child said that, Mommy, I know you can do it because it's in your hands. You need to help me. And I was just like, okay, all right, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna explain this to my peers because this is so opposite.
Yeah.
Where what my belief system and what I'm taught, but I just know I felt all this energy, and when my son said that, I had to be certified.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, maybe you're the one who will bring it to the masses. Maybe you're the one who will help everyone and learn. Maybe through you, more people will start practicing and doing it, and you'll make it something common, and it'll be like scientifically proven eventually, and people will understand how energy works. And I was just like, wow, that's a big ask. That's really, that's really big. But I was also really like honored because she's really up there as in her field. And so I was just like, wow, that's great. And she's like, anytime you need help, let me know. I never went back and said, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. But I did hear what she said, and I kept hearing it again and again, and I kept dreaming about it. And then next thing you know, I was moved from writing stories and books to like, okay, let's write this manual as a Reiki, as a complementary therapy for patient care. There you go. And it just flowed. I mean, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I love this.
That's awesome. So in your manual, are you like, oh man, I imagine you've had to develop like different language that you use as opposed to what you might learn in like a Reiki class because of who you're interfacing with all the time. So do you like have to avoid like any kind of woo language or?
I do actually. You really have to stick with the healing part and how it can affect patients. And I practice, well, as you know, I was certified as a Holy Fire 3 and Karuna Reiki Master Teacher, but I actually, once again, divinely sent to me, started practicing KA Reiki, which is my style of Reiki. And it's more earth center, it's more nature center, it's more individualistic, it's more towards the healing part of like someone like me with conditions and stuff. It really is, it's weird because it sort of changes. Every single person has felt like a heaviness, like almost like a blanket or a shield around them. And they felt like a cleansing happening and occurring. That's been like the commonality with using KA Reiki.
Wow.
And even when it started coming to me, I felt like a blanket on top of me or a shield or something protecting me. And then my body just being cleaned out and stuff like that. So I kept like having these dreams about it and stuff. And I said, okay, this is a Reiki that's going to be for this particular practice. This is what I use. And that's all I do now. I don't even practice anything else. I just practice my style of Reiki and I put that Reiki out. And then when it came to the book, I have to use like things that are specifically for nursing and for clinicians that they would use in their practice. I would have to use their language. And I did have a nurse. One of my friends is a nurse. So I had her like review everything and double check everything and make sure my verbiage was correct and stuff like that. And she helped do that for me. And then you also have to put in, you have your natural biases and stuff that you have to like overcome.
Sure.
So you have to put that in too. You have to integrate it within the actual course. So I had to do that part. Luckily, I already had training on that, and I used to teach that a while back and stuff because I used to be I am still like a court-appointed special advocate for children and dependency.
Okay, you are busy.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I have to, I have to regulate some things. So my girl, I've had her, well, she's been my child since she was 16. Now she's like 22. So she's off now in the Philippines, grown and everything, and taking care of her life and business. And I even certify her as a Reiki healer.
All
Oh, that's
right.
awesome. Great.
And stuff. And so with that, you get all these types of trainings and stuff, and inherent bias is one of them, So I had already taken that class. I had already done it. And then I used to do trainings and stuff, working for the government and helping them. So it was very easy for me to write up about that particular thing and how to integrate Reiki principles into clearing out and acknowledging and recognizing your own personal biases and then overcoming them and stuff. So that's a part of the manual too. That's like a whole section that I put in.
That's awesome.
You're so uniquely like qualified to do this specific thing too, through the nurse, like
that's
the nurse thing, the government
she's
stuff,
bringing
like
Reiki to the masses here.
you are. I mean, it's true.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
That's so great.
as far as like the more medical based like personnel that you're working with, let me bake my question here. What are you telling them you're affecting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there like a physiology that you can explain to them, or is it just like, are we still expecting them to kind of take a leap of faith until they experience it on their own?
Mostly I tell them that I remind them that we're all energy, because they know, they understand the biomechanical and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they understand that we're all energy, and that they understand that stress and all those external factors can affect your health. And if you can alleviate stress and if you can relax, then it helps the medicine come in and help assist you. It helps you, prepare you for surgery. If you're tense and scared and anxious before surgery, it can affect your outcomes after the fact. They understand that. So they're like, if we can like just calm them down, if we can make them not anxious, if we can de-stress them, if we can relax them before they go into surgery, before we give them anesthesia and everything else, then their whole medical outlook in their recovery will be quicker. It'll be better. They'll be healthier. They have a healthier mindset. They won't be such in a negative zone afterwards with all the pain. Alleviate the pain. If we can get them in a state of relaxation where they don't feel as much pain, we don't have to give them as much medicine. Because despite what people may believe, a lot of the nurses and the medical people, they don't really want to give as much medicine to the people.
I believe that.
Yeah.
They're forced to because they have to.
Right.
But if they can find a way where they don't have to and it works, they're 100% in, especially the nurses.
I think this is funny to me because I always, and maybe I'm wrong, someone's going to yell at me for this, which is fine. I deserve it if I'm wrong. But I always feel like in the medical field is always like mechanisms over, I don't know, results first. But this seems like, like they want to know how it's working. For the most part. Actually, that's not entirely true, but that's what I'm accustomed to. And in your case, you're saying like, hey guys, this works and it gets you the results that you need. So, let's use it more. And I think that's really cool because you are coming up with results. And
a lot of, we already know, like, what is it? Over 800 hospitals are using Reiki practitioners and have volunteer Reiki staff on call.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that statistic.
Yeah, it's over. I've done the research. Well, with the book, I had to done the research. I've looked up
solid.
It is. Yeah. And it's a lot. And they're all over. They're all over, by the way, all over the nation, different hospitals. And some have even certified their nurses on staff as Reiki healers and stuff to practice with their patients. And some, they just have the volunteers come in, or they have it as part of their alternative, like division within their hospital that it's an option for the patients to go to. The problem is like we need the insurance to pay for it.
Yeah.
You need the only way the insurance will pay for it is if a medical provider is offering it. That's why I said that's the only way. That's why I designed the course. If we can get more of them doing it and working with their patients, then eventually I feel like there will be enough data because they have to do their notes, right? You have to do your nursing notes and everything. And so once you put that in there, that's cumulative data to show how Reiki is assisting or maybe not assisting certain people. And then eventually,
but probably assisting.
No, it will assist.
Yeah.
We know it will. We know it will.
Yeah.
We know it will. And then I feel like that'll be enough research to like start with maybe the argument of, hey, insurance company, can you pay for this if we just bring in a regular Reiki healer too?
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're really leading the charge here. This is all news to me.
I'm thinking. I know I'm not new to try to get this done.
Yeah.
I know there's someone who, and I can't even remember her name. I'm so sorry to her, but I know if she's listening, if she's still alive, she'll definitely let herself be known. But she started this whole medical Reiki terminology and stuff and working in hospitals and everything a long, long time ago. And like I think over 20 years ago. And then little by little, a lot of us or a few of us have, went in, and some of us work with hospitals exclusively and everything. And I feel like the door is shut. I'm going to be honest. I feel like when they get that in with the hospital, they don't really want to help anybody else get in because it's so hard.
Yeah.
And that's what Reiki's about, right? What you have is what you have, and what you share is what you're supposed to share with everybody. And so with this particular course, with the way I'm doing it, I want like everyone to be involved, and I don't want the doors closed. I want them open. I want nurses doing it. I want physical therapists doing it. I want Reiki healers there. If the hospital says, well, our nurses are busy. Okay, well, can we bring in some healers? And they get paid for it, and they get it done because you're still working.
Yeah. Yeah. That is interesting because there is, I think this is awesome, and everything you're doing is incredible. But there is like that small fear that like it's going to get into the medical system and like the whole thing's going to be, Reiki in a medical system is going to be like more of a corrupt, I don't know, not corrupt, but like adulterated or slightly tainted with like the westernized ideals of medicine and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very funny. Like it seems like I don't want the, medical community to like start doing any kind of gatekeeping like that, where they're keeping it to themselves or like closing the doors, like you're saying. But at the same time, if we don't let them have access to it, we are gatekeeping, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's a complicated thing.
It's tough. It's like when you find an indie band, you're like, no one else can listen to them. I found them first. But they're so good, you got to hear them.
and then they get on the radio, and everyone's like, they sold out.
Yeah, and you're like, no,
they're sell out.
That's very funny.
I have a question. How much is the chakra system mentioned with anyone in the medical field? Like,
I have it in the book.
Yeah.
I actually, because I'm a chakra healing master too, so I definitely had to put in the book. I couldn't leave that out.
Yeah.
About the chakras and your energy centers and stuff, because if we're all energy and there has to be an energy center. So this is where our energy centers are. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're going to work with. And I describe them, and I even, put in a brief little translation about like what affects what in the body and stuff, so that they can go into it. But we both know, we all three know, right, that you don't necessarily have to know all the chakras to do Reiki.
Yeah. Because
if you're naturally intuitive and you're doing it, it's going to move you wherever it goes.
Right.
It's natural. But I did mention that because I feel like, it gives people somewhere to start and to work those areas in a conjunction with wherever the healing might be, because you might have pain where in let's say your arm, but it might be originating down in the leg. So I've had that even with clients where they have pain up in the upper body, but then I go to their feet and then they feel the pain being released up here. So
wow.
that's why I added in the chakra system, just so they can just the major ones, just so they can get, I'm sort of giving them a little of the woo-woo kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you can't really leave it out.
You know,
I
like,
was curious.
yeah. No, I think that's a good point. The chakra, if I'm ever going to like woo someone a little, I always talk about chakras first, because I'm like, listen, this has been around for a very long time.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of history to this.
Yeah, you can't deny the chakras. That's one thing for sure. So
you can't,
you can't deny. So that's for sure. That is 100%.
Can I ask you a couple questions about like your personal intuition?
I'd love for you to. I had a dream last night that was all crazy. Go ahead.
Let's start there.
Oh, go on.
I'd love to
say
hear that.
more, LaTanya.
Yeah.
Should I say this dream? Okay. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to scare anyone. So yeah, I had this dream that me and I like to call it my teacher, but it's like my master teacher in the spiritual realm.
Sure.
So who's so freaking tall, right? So huge and tall compared to me, and always in this either a white or a black robe, and never the face shall I see, but always I see the arms and everything, because he or she is so tall. But just talking to me and telling me about like my next part of my life journey. And I was just like, oh no, that's a lot of work. I was like, are you kidding me? Like saying, well, and when I say talk, I mean, like she gives me like visions, right?
Yeah.
In my dream.
Whoa.
So in my dream, I have like these visions going through my head of me being up and talking to people. And I was talking to another Reiki master teachers, and they were like, oh, I think I want to do the course. I said, well, if you're going to do the course, why don't you learn KA Reiki? And you have to learn it through me, and you have to put it out there, and you have to do this and that. And I was like negotiating and willing and dealing with this person. And they were just like, okay, I'll do it. You know, how much are you going to charge me? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't even been told the price yet. And I'm just like, and then I pop back into my body in the dream. And I'm talking to my teacher. I'm like, why am I like, what are we doing? And they're like, no, this is what you have to do. And this is a part of it. And then when you pass, like it has to continue. You're putting down the roots, and it has to continue with other people. So you have to go. It's like, you know, the tree. I always saw a tree, even when I was a kid, and with all these limbs and branches, and every single one has a different thing on it. And I was just like, oh, the tree again. Oh,
so your dreams, are you like, I'm assuming there's a element of lucidity to the way you dream. Do you go into the evening knowing that it's going to be like that automatically, or do you do something, or like have some kind of like mantra or ritual that you do to like get into that state where you're just so open to communication?
My grandmother, God rest her soul, is the one who taught me how to be awake in my dreams, to do lucid dreaming. It's so weird. You say lucid dream, but back in the day, she's like, because I used to have nightmares all the time as a kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really bad nightmares where I was fighting demons and monsters, and I would wake up with bruises on my body and stuff.
Oh my God.
It was really, it was deep. And my grandmother was like, you know, you need to like learn how to be awake in your dream and fight in your dream. And when you need to leave, when it gets really dangerous and you need to leave, you need to learn how to switch your dream. And I was just like, how do I do that? And she said, well, before you go to bed, you have to tell yourself exactly what you want and how you want it done. And then you have to keep imagining that as you go and drift off into sleep. And so I just started doing that. So whenever I would have, as a kid, when I would have like a dream that I would start that way, and then I'd veer off into the nightmare, she said, you have to turn around and face whoever it is. You can't run. You have to stop and face whatever's coming after you and say no. She said, just shout no, go away. I'm in control. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, I'm like a kid. You asking a lot of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But and so, I mean, obviously it took a while for me to figure it out and get it done. But eventually she was right. Like I would just be like, I'd stop and I'm like, no, no in my dream. And I was able to like control. And I was like, wait, if I can say no and stop it, then that means I can detach. And so I just practiced detaching in my dream and watching myself in my dream as I go through things. And then if I didn't like it, or if I felt like, okay, my spirit said, okay, this is a danger zone. You got to get out of here because you're in an area you shouldn't be in or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I would just switch over into a different dream. And I don't even know what's going to happen. I just say, this is dangerous. I have to leave. And then my whole body and mind would just switch over into something that's nice and light and fluffy. Or I would wake up completely like that.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And then get back to sleep. So yeah, it's a lot of dream walking, I realized like I was walking in my, doing astral projection and didn't even realize it. I was in someone's house one time, this guy's house. I met him here in LA, weirdly enough. And this is when I was like really like out in my 20s. And we were just friends, nothing else, just friends. But I met him here.
Wait, are you suggesting that you did an astral projection walk of shame right now? Is that what's going on?
Nothing happened. I just saw his house. Nothing happened. I just saw his apartment. Weird. Maybe if he was with me, if he knew how to do it.
Yeah, who knows?
But I was just there by myself, nosy little girl. So I met him here, and he's like, oh yeah, if you come to Germany, you can stay with me in my place. And I was like, oh no, I have family in Germany. I can stay with them and we can just hang out and, and see what happens and whatever. And weirdly enough, like the week after I met him, I saw myself like just rising up, going all the way to Germany in his house, in his apartment. But I didn't know at the time where I was. I just went into this apartment. I looked around. It was really like a really nice place and stuff. I remember the pictures. I remember the piano. He had a baby grand piano in the house. It was like these big bay windows and stuff, and like up on the higher floors and everything. And I was like, wow, this is a great place. And then I remember seeing him walk out, and I was like, hey. And then it shocked me because I didn't know where I was, right? And then when I said, hey, and then he looked at me, and then boom, I was back in my body, right? So then when I actually went to Germany physically on a plane in real life. And I met up with him and stuff. And my uncle was like really weird at the time. So I didn't get a chance to go into the guy's house. He's like, you better not go in his house. We don't know these strange people. And I was like, okay, fine. And the guy was so scared of my uncle, he didn't want me into his apartment, but he did. Like I said, it's so funny because I saw you in a dream, and I explained it. And then his face got like really red. And he was just like, oh my God, that's my place. He goes, I have a grand piano that you just described my apartment. And I was like, no. He goes, like, that's my apartment. I do go out and I walk out and I play the piano at that time. And I was just like, I was like, wow. I said, don't you tell me I don't have any psychic abilities.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow.
He was just like laughing, and he's like, yeah, I'm not taking you in my house.
Wait, so you didn't get to go like see it in person?
No, he was just like, no. He was so freaked out. He was just like, nah, I'm like, he's like, yeah. And then he invited friends to come hang out with us because he didn't know how to handle this.
You spooked him? Oh my God.
Oh my God. What a wimp.
Yeah, what a wimp.
Come on, man.
I really, but honestly, here's the thing about this particular gift. Like I would have dreams about people and the situations that they were doing, and I would like warn them. A friend, I hope she doesn't see this because she'll know who she is, so with her family. An ex-friend. We're not friends anymore, but because of this situation, actually, I dreamed that her father, that her brother was talking to this woman with a kid, and it was just like they were surrounded by darkness, and there was light immediately around them, but everything else was dark. And she was standing in front of him. The kid was beside her, and they were just having these secret conversations. Now, on the outskirts of the light and the darkness was her mom, and on one side, and her dad on another side. And then I just got a sense that there was something wrong. And that's the vision. That's what kept coming, the dream. And I kept hearing, oh, she has to say these prayers. She has to do these prayers. Her mom needs to go to church. She's very church oriented. She's Catholic. She must go to church. She has to go to church. And I kept saying, I am not telling my friend that. I am not saying to my friend, you're no. Because I was but it just kept coming. So I finally said, look, let's give her a fake name. Julie. Julie.
We love Julie.
I keep having this dream about your brother and this lady, and your mom is there, and she's on the outskirts. She's crying, and the dad is there, and he's looking really angry. And I keep hearing that your mom has to go to church and say these prayers, and I don't know what's happening, but I feel like your brother should not be talking to this woman, and that there's some problem. And then she tells me that, like, she's like, I think you're a witch. I was like, what?
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's like, Tanya, my mom just found out my dad has a secret family over in another country. I'm not going to say the country because then in another country. And this woman has a kid and she wants to come to America. And she's been secretly talking to my brother.
Oh, man.
Oh.
And no one he told our family he was never going to have anything to do with them and whatever. But she's been secretly talking to my brother, trying to get him to talk to my father to pay for her and her son to come over and live with us in our house. And my mom is like so upset. They almost divorced, and she's been going to church and she doesn't know what to do, talking to the pastor. And I was just like, okay, well, in the dream, she has to say these prayers and whatever. She has to do this to get this woman back, because what I saw is if she comes over into your house, that's the end of your household. Like everything was destroyed.
Yeah.
She has to stay where she is. I said, and your dad has to reconcile and like take care of her and still take care of you guys, because he has divided his responsibilities in the spirit realm. So now he has to do both. And she was just like, I will tell my mom. I'm going to tell my mom today. She told her mom did it. And then like the brother stopped talking to the sister. Like he just, for whatever, she's like, I don't know what happened, but he just immediately stopped talking.
Wow.
After she started going to church and doing what you said. And then the dad just decided like he's not going to try to bring her over. He would just help her financially. And so he just started working more jobs and stuff. And I was just like, she goes, but how did you know? How did you know? And I was like,
because I'm a witch.
Because no secret is safe from LaTanya.
No secret is safe from me. I was like, I said, look, I have no control over this spirit realm. Okay, what they show me, they want to show me. What they want to tell me, they want to tell me. And it plays out into my healing when I do Reiki healings with people. Like I might have a spiritual download and I have to tell them immediately what's happening and what's going on. And that helps them in the healing part.
So hold on. Let me ask you a question about that real quick. Because so much of what we've spoken about.
Wait, really quick. I need this.
Wait, a double interruption?
Yes.
Interception.
I need the. I'm just super curious. You said she's your ex-friend. I needed to just like close out the drama.
Oh yeah.
Was she like, okay, well, LaTanya is a witch and I can't be friends with her anymore?
Well, she became the ex-friend because she was doing something she had no business doing with a certain guy who was about to get married to somebody else.
Whoops.
And I told her,
okay,
I had a dream about her going to Vegas with him and his friends, with the soon-to-be wife not knowing, but then finding out later. And then a lot of drama between the families and the household. And I told her, this is what I dreamed. Don't go on that trip. I know that this is the love of your life in high school and everything, but do not go on that trip. He made a choice. He's going to choose this other woman. Doesn't matter what you do. He's always going to choose this other woman. Don't go on that trip. Don't go to Vegas. And she was like, how do you know? How did you know? I didn't tell anyone. It was between me and him.
Wow.
She's like, you're just a witch. I can't talk to you anymore. And I was like, look, girl, I'm trying to help you. You're my friend. Spirit is giving you warning. I'm trying to help you. Do not do this. It will be horrible. Don't do it. I saw the outcome. And And then she never talked to me. She didn't take my phone calls after that.
What a bummer.
She never took my phone calls. And I wish her well. I hope she's doing well in her life. I hope she didn't go on a trip. I don't know what happened.
What a shame. Listen.
Thank you for humoring me and on that. And I'm sorry. That's
Days of Our Lives over here wants to know all the.
I wanted to know how we got to we're not friends anymore, because here she is, like
a lovely person
investing
helping people.
A lot of time and energy in her dreams to provide, like, this has no impact on you. And then you're like, no. I'm just delivering the information. Do with it what you will. And I hope you make the right choice. But then to be like, I don't know. Then to be punished for it.
Anytime someone gets weird, just lie to them. Say, you know what? I can't have these spiritual knowings or visions if you just wear a tinfoil hat. And you'll at least have one more friend. So what I wanted to ask you was, before you continue, you're talking about how the do you describe yourself as a medium, or do you just have like?
Let me tell you, I don't. Let me tell you why. Yeah. Why I won't do it. Because I used to have a lot of people who would, before I wouldn't even describe myself as that, but they would still come to me and ask me so many things about like their personal life.
Got it.
Guy, am I going to get this raise? Can I get this money? It's very materialistic, right?
Yeah.
And I tell them, I said, that's not how my spirit works. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, that's not how my gift works. My gift is not going to win you the lotto. It's not going to get you that man or woman. It's not going to get you that job, that promotion. What it does is it is really 100% your authentic spiritual life to help you elevate spiritually. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do something that would damage your spirit, or that would bind your spirit or hold it in, then my spirit is going to converse with yours, and it's going to tell my spirit exactly what it needs to be free within the house and to control the house. It doesn't exist on this plane per se. It exists at a higher level. So it's going to try to move you up to a higher level. It doesn't care about the man. It doesn't care about the female. It doesn't care about the job, unless that's going to advance you spiritually. So
that's interesting that you're describing it as something that like binds you to this, like vibration or this level of spirituality. That's a really interesting concept. And yeah. So the reason why I even asked about mediumship is you're talking about in a Reiki session here, when something comes through, like, and you share it with someone to assist with their healing. Almost everything we've spoken about so far, when it comes to your intuition, is in your dreams. So how does it present to you when you're awake and actually in a session?
It comes as a just knowing, like immediately, almost like I'm that person, and I've experienced it with them.
Oh wow!
Or I can see, like, I used to be able to feel people's pain, and then I said, okay, this is too much. I'm gonna need you to shut that down, spirit. You just let me know where it is. I don't want to feel the pain, because I have enough with my own condition.
Yeah. Just enough to know, and then go away.
Enough to know, not to go deep into it and stuff like that. So now it's like I get a picture, like a really quick, vivid picture of where it might be or what's happening. I was just talking to a client / someone I certified as a Reiki healer, who's going through some stuff right now, and she's doing a cleansing. Like, her body is doing this whole, you know how it is when you become a Reiki healer, everything cleanses out, right? And so she's doing a cleansing, and she's like, her mind is not quite in sync with the spiritual stuff that's going on, because she like wants to explain it scientifically or analytically. And I'm like, you can't. Sometimes it is what it is. You just have to accept it and be okay with accepting it for being what it is.
Right.
So she's like saying, like, but I just keep having this dream, and I keep seeing this snake come into my stomach and whatever. Whoa. And I was just like, I said, okay, so, she's like, I don't know what that is. I said, that's you. It's you. And she was still talking, and I was like, you're not listening to me. I'm telling you right now, you have to hear me. Stop talking. And then she goes, I'm sorry. What are you saying? I said, my spirit is telling me what to tell you right now. I'm hearing your spirit say, it's you. You're the snake that's going within yourself. And on your right side, there's a black hole that it's just all this energy is coming in and out. I said, so you need to transmute the negative into a positive with your Reiki, you have to do that. And then you have to seal up that hole. But before you can seal it, you have to use your Reiki to push all of that out. And that snake that's coming in is just all the energy. That's how your spirit is manifesting and talking to you, letting you know. For you, snake is danger. So therefore, it's telling you that this is all negative energy coming in, and you're allowing it. And that's where your hole is in your body. That part of your chakra, your solar plexus and your sacral, is where you are energetically weak. So you have to build up your strength there and know that no matter what, if there's something negative coming, it's coming from there. That's where it's going to start for you. It's different for everybody.
Wow.
And so she was like, oh my God. She's like, well, how did you know it was the right side? I said, girl, she goes, I know your gift. I know your gift. I know your gift.
Why are you questioning me?
Of all the things to ask, you're going to ask that one.
Yeah.
This is really interesting to me because like I've heard, and maybe I'm not, I mean, I do respect the practice of Reiki, obviously, but like I've also heard so many people describe it as like, oh, you want to work on and develop your intuition or your healing abilities. Like Reiki's a great place to start. And you're really showing me that like, first of all, Reiki is so much more a useful tool than it is just in the laying on hands. Like you can do a bunch more stuff with it, which is awesome. So like, I don't know. I think I would, next time I hear that it's just like a great starting point, I would push back a little bit and say like, you can use it forever, no matter how much you develop.
That's exactly right.
I'm in an intuitive healing mentorship program right now. I'm actually like learning a little bit more intuitive, like we're diving into our intuition in this mentorship because it's a little more than just like learning Reiki methods or whatever. It's like learning how to blend your aura with someone else's so that you can tap into your intuition and say, what does this person need right now? How can I help heal you in a deeper way? It's not just a starting place, like Frank was saying, and how you've described it. Like it can be deeply intuitive. It
depends on your teacher.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put it out there and let's put it out for the world. I'm just gonna say it. Don't at me, people. Because I am a spiritual warrior too. So don't at me. But I'm going to tell you, it depends on your teacher, 100%.
Yeah.
Because everyone who's trained through me and has learned through me has gifts that I can see and I can recognize. And with the Reiki, I teach them in the class how to enhance and integrate Reiki within their gift and how to control it and use it and utilize it. In my Reiki classes with my teachers, and I was trained by the same person. I was, my Reiki master was with, William Rand and everything. And even with my practitioner, Julie Russell, I certified through her, and it was strictly healing. It was strictly healing, period. But and I asked him in the class, I said, hey, I said, well, I get this pain throughout my body. I get these dreams, I get these visions. And I'm like, I feel like, Reiki is a part of it. So what's going on? And he said it. I mean, William Rand said it himself. I don't know if he'll remember it, but he definitely said it in class. He said that, it's just Reiki integrating with your gift. And I said, okay, that's what I thought. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's just integrating with your gift. And I said, okay, good. That's all I needed to know. And so after that, I just let it flow. I was like, come on, right in, give me everything. Let's make it happen. Every single gift I have, let's do it. Let's use it, utilize it. And so that's how I teach.
That's so great.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've met a lot of people who are Reiki master teachers who've been doing it for way longer than I have, and they're strictly still at healing. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like they're a two. I feel like they're still a practitioner.
Getting real with LaTanya.
Yeah.
Don't at me, people.
Oh my gosh.
I do. I feel like they could be at a higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've stuck with the method instead of allowing Reiki to take over and control every aspect of their life. And we know it's only going to be great and good. And I feel like they get scared about the spiritual part. They get scared when it comes to the dreams, and then you wake up and that dream comes true. They get scared when you hear something walking in your house or a voice talking, giving you instructions and stuff. They get scared when you see like spirit orbs floating around and lights flashing, little spirit orbs flashing around your house and everything, like color. They're freaking out.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, come on, can you manifest into a physical form so we can have a real conversation? Or I have to keep seeing you just float on by.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, don't at me, but for people who suck at Reiki, who aren't doing as much as they can do with it,
The
like
twos of the world.
the twos out there, we know who we are. What
The master
practices?
twos.
The master twos. Thank you. What practices can they do to like really start firing up the full range of Reiki intuition?
And by that you mean we?
What can I do? Dear God, help me.
I really think that's when they have to go internal and do those Reiki meditations that I love doing, that I tell everyone to do, and to start talking to their spirit and saying, what's my gift? What really truly is my gift? Show it to me, and then let me start using it and show me how I can use it in my everyday life. And then as they're doing this, you're using your Reiki, right? You're still doing self-Reiki.
Right.
You're using your Reiki to open up those channels of communication, and then you go with what your spirit says. A lot of those people, they're not honestly spiritually connected. They don't want to connect the two. They want to keep it separate. But you have to combine them if you really want the full effect of everything. If you want that full gift that you've been given from the universal God of this world,
Yeah.
then you have to combine it, because there's no such thing as separation. It's all togetherness.
Is it just fear that's keeping that
It's
partition?
fear.
Yeah.
It's fear. It's 100% fear. I tell them, like I said, you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to hear the voice. You can't be afraid to hear the noise. You can't be afraid of your power and your authority in the spiritual realm, because it transmutes and transfers over into this realm, and you will see the difference. You just will.
Yeah.
And whatever choice you decide, whether you want to stay as a garbage man and work and do that, you're going to see the difference. If you want to run a Fortune 500 business, you're going to see the difference when you add both of those together, because every job, everything you do, every walk of life, there's a design. It's important. If you're not doing the full effect of everything and integrating it, then you're allowing other things to take over and come in and control you.
Right.
Because there are outside things besides all the goody. There are the negatives. There's a negative energy that manifests. There's a negative beings and creatures, and there are people who practice darkness as well as those who practice light, and they are both equally powerful.
Right.
In the,
we haven't talked about that a lot on the show. We've like touched on it for like seconds. We've had a few people just like mention that kind of thing. We have so many people also saying like they don't even address the fact that there might be anything but like just love and spirit. But
that's crazy.
We've had,
but also you can do Reiki.
Yin and yang, light and dark, chaos, serenity.
But my thing in my mind, I've always been like, hey, listen, like if we are people who are trying to use the gifts that we have to help people as much as we can, there's got to be people out there who are trying to do things for selfish reasons, and that would elicit some other types of energy.
Or like negative energy can almost like manifest into like a little like just cluster. Like
we've learned that from Reiki. Do you like when you do your Reiki practices, do you like also have to clear the room when you're done? Like okay.
I do. I clean the room. I've had people, and this is why I say that's crazy, because I've had people come to me with negative attachments.
Mm-hmm.
Even William Rand does negative attachments. He does it.
Yeah, it's part of the master.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you learn how to.
Yeah. And I'll be honest. He does it in a way that like is very nice and gentle, because he's a nice, gentle kind of person, right?
Yeah.
He's a nice, gentle. His energy is that. So he does it in a very nice and gentle manner, and not to scare anyone. He always wants like peace, tranquility, and it's a beautiful thing. For me personally, though, I've seen that ugly side. So I've seen those people who come in with like really like dark attachments that I can feel and I can smell sometimes, like the putridness that's attached to them.
Wow.
And I have to, it's a spiritual battle. This is when you go into like how I was raised as a kid with Mama Seal and stuff, where you put on your full armor, which is why I say like I only use KA Reiki now, because I feel like that's the armor. You put on your full armor and you go in and you like literally have to detach and remove that entity, that energy from that person. And then you have to give them things they have to continue to do for a while to keep it away, because it always wants to come back, because they have to seal that area and build up like a shield around wherever it's coming. But also remember, it'll attach to you too. so that's where the shield comes in, and you have to like take that energy and transmute it. That's the higher level of being a Reiki healer and your spirituality, putting those gifts together, understanding that you have to transmute that energy and release it to your spiritual guides and your masters in the spirit realm, because they are able to take it and cleanse it for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've definitely heard of Reiki being used as almost like a protective barrier. I think more so at the master level, but it seems like some of the symbols they teach you would potentially be good for that kind of thing. But again, I'm still learning. So if I'm saying something stupid, please interrupt me.
No. Okay. I mean, for the symbols that they teach are great. But for KA Reiki, you don't need symbols, because it is 100% a spiritual thing. That's why I love KA Reiki. There's no symbols utilized or needed to do what you need to do.
And remind me, you developed KA Reiki, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it is trademark. For people who are out there, it's
yeah, sorry.
She's an attorney.
It seems like the process of developing your intuition is very much based on, here's your entry points, here's what here's your entry points to learning a practice, but then you must make it your own. And it seems like you've done that expertly with this, which is really cool.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Just to wrap up our conversation here, you opened up your story talking about rheumatic fever.
Yeah, I didn't close that up, did I? No, sorry. Actually, within the first 3 months of me using Reiki, with my treatment, I was out of treatment. I haven't been in treatment for years now. Whenever I have a flare up, I just sit, I do a Reiki meditation, and I just calm that part of my body down and accept and release that energy. And I think that's the thing. You have to accept the pain first, and just accept it as part of your being, a part of your body, and don't fight. So I tell my body, don't fight this pain. Let's just take it and insert it and just spread it out, and then just release it through our chakras and just let it go out into the universe. And that's how I've done it. That's how I release my pain. That's how I worked it out. And
that's really interesting, because I feel like usually when people have pain, just to get through the day, they spend a lot of time trying to ignore it, pretend like it's not there, waiting to be distracted enough for it to go away. And I feel like we all know now that if you don't address that kind of thing, or at least feel the feelings, it gets bottled up and presents in a different way. Yeah. So you're acknowledging it, accepting it, and then dissipating it is a really cool approach that clearly has worked for you. So
yes, and I'd like other people to do that too. So people, you start doing that for your
do it, people. Yes. She says, and she'll know if you haven't.
She'll start having dreams about you.
I will. I'll come into your dreams.
Just show up at your house in your dreams.
Actually knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. LaTanya, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You are just you're a beam of sunshine.
Where else can people find you? Where give us your plugs. What are you working on?
Okay, so I of course my website, I'm reikinow.com, will have all my information on it. It has every class, every my up and coming stuff with the Reiki clinician course and things like that, and the many different ways I can give Reiki with mommy and me, baby and me Reiki.
Oh, that's
I'm a Reiki.
neat.
like in your house Reiki, cleaning out the negative energy, all that kind of stuff.
Great.
Also, of course, all my social is at I'm Reiki Now. And it's not I''M people. It is IMREIKINOW. I'm Reiki Now, one word. And pretty soon I'm working actually on my own learning center online. So I'm doing that right now, where I'm going to have all the Reiki meditations, and I'm going to have the courses and certifications at free to low discounted price versus being in live. Because again, I'm following suit to get it out to everybody, to the masses and stuff. So that's up and coming, but when it is ready, it'll be on the website and everything, and that's where all the stuff for the clinician work will be too. So yeah, that's it. That's it. And then you can, of course, buy my books. Buy my books.
Get all the books. I'm like legitimately like I don't want to say impressed, because I feel like that's some kind of like reverse judgment, but like I can't believe how much you're involved in, and I'm so excited for you. And
well, it's inspiring, and
it's
like,
super inspiring.
Yeah,
super inspiring. So.
I have no life other than Reiki and work.
Well,
don't try to hold
down. Thanks again for talking to us. Yeah. And Lauren's got that spark in her eye, so I'm certain she's going to be reaching out to you.
Yes, I do.
Yes, come on. Yeah, KA Reiki for everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, LaTanya.
Oh, I appreciate it. This was so much fun. Thank you so much. I enjoyed every bit of it. I love the laugh. Bye.
Us too. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you for listening. Visit www.clairvoyaging.com for show notes, merch, or just to say hi. If you'd like to support our journey, visit www.buymeacoffee.com/clairvoyaging. This has been a production of Wayfeather Media.